Hey there, welcome back. Welcome back to me. I'm home, I'm playing. I'm doing this. I'm going to try anyway. Where are we at? 1650 feet. I guess we just came back down. That's right. We couldn't find a strength restoration potion. We do have PCE in place, I recall that. Let's move our mouse. Whoops. Ah, fuck. That is such a pain. Alright, drop you. BBF, don't go. I might start carrying rations again. Just because I just get tired of doing this. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. I won't do it just now. Clearly, because I'm in the middle of a dungeon and there are no rations around here that I'm aware of. We're in a vault of sorts, pre-designed room that is in no way interesting. We just cast PCE, so we should be fine. Assuming that guy's not something that we can't handle. Let's make sure we have the, our Slay Undead sword at the ready, so we can do that. What do we got here? Can shoot flames. Let's just shoot it from a distance with our Orb of Dreaming. There we go. Rest, peace. Come on. Of all the factors in the game that aggravate me, and again, let's be clear, they aggravate me because of physical injury that makes it trickier for me to type than most people these days. Physical injury that I'm still working on. Just go back to the doctors. He sent me for an MRI to figure this thing out. So, fingers are crossed we'll still figure something out. But of all the things that bug me in that capacity, the more button is the number one. If I could ask anything of the designers of this game, I don't need to do that. I have to do this. It would be to allow me to dismiss the more button, the more prompt, pardon me, with any key press, period. I hate having to reach for the enter key separately. There is an enter key on my keypad. It's not like I have to reach for the other computer. But the way I'm carrying my keypad, I have to use my pinky to depress it, which bugs my hands a bit. And B, if I don't notice it's waiting for a more prompt, I may go on and start typing something else and then realize, oh shit, I didn't press the more prompt, and I gotta go back and press it, and then I have to type in the letter combo again, and it's not just a time waster. It's again, it literally causes me injury, or causes aggravation to my injuries, my existing injuries. Well, I obviously didn't do my job. Alright. By the same token, the need to press Shift E to eat, as opposed to just E, or just U to use, and just whatever inventory item you use it, you know, that'd be great. Why not use food, and use a wand, and use a staff? I see no reason why we had to differentiate those things with different keys. Complex, and requires a Shift key, which is an extra hand on the keyboard or whatever, so I had to put my keypad down, and blah 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 blah. Shift R to rest. Why not just R? R is read, that's why. But if you just had U for read, and for quaff, and for zap, and for eat, and for wield, if that was true of it all, God, how much easier would that be? Just saying. What if purely bumping into, you bump to attack. What if purely bumping into rubble was enough to dig at it? Rather, why do I have to press control? What bumping into something embedded in a wall was enough to start digging at it instead of having to press control. These are minor UI things, but to me they make a lot of sense. It's not like I had to press A to attack and then I had to press the direction. I just bump into the thing. Come on. Come on, what is going on here? P. C. B. That's what I'm trying to do. There we go. Again, why press O? Why not just bump into the door and it tries to open it? You see how clever I am? I guess you could say because then when you bump into a closed door, you'd expect it to close, and it doesn't. It just lets you pass through. But you could always make an exception and say C closes. I don't bother with the opening and closing in caverns. If you enter a door square, you open the door. Or you try to if it's a heavy door. Again, I apologize that the fan above my head is buffeting the microphone to some degree. But it's hot enough in here that if I don't have that going and I don't have the air conditioner going, either myself or my pets will die. One of the two. Or both. Or the computer will overheat. It's a brand new frickin' very, very expensive computer. I bought a fucking $3,000 computer and a 4K monitor to play Moria on. Oh well. Against all odds, I'm still having fun. I've been reading some of the CRPG Addict lately. I think I've mentioned him before. He runs a blog where he plays every computer role-playing game. Chet Bolingbroke, I think his name is. Every computer role-playing game ever made in chronological sequence that they got released. At least he's trying to. And Moria was one of the games he played once, so I just took the time to... I already read the review a long time ago, but I took the time to look it back up and read through and read all the comments. It's interesting to see the different takes on the game. Most people still find it fun, as do I, but they also mention something I cannot disagree with, that the game overstays its welcome. It's a very fun game still, and I'm honestly baffled as to why it's fun. I'm going to PCE here, because this game should be over with. As a general rule, did I fail on my PCE? PCE. No, I guess it's just a young dragon is still a high enough level. I've never fought a young red dragon before. Interesting. All right, well, fuck it. Now I won't switch weapons. It's just faster to do it this way. All right, I will switch weapons. Maybe I'll cast P, B, H. Resist his heat even more. If he does breathe on me again. Alright, it's dead. That's something we love. Wow, it took that long to get to you've slain it. Oh, unless there was a mushroom standing there. That was weird. Or maybe something... Oh, it's because let's switch back our weapons right off the bat. Something invisible is there. Eat. E. You feel your strength returning. Okay, so we're back to... Our stats are at full again. Quiet, Ben. Okay, let's PAE. We are in a room. I also should apologize. I have two of those. I shouldn't have two of those. That means I'm carrying something I don't want to be carrying. Drop P. We don't need P. I'd rather pick up something else. And not that either. I don't think I could drop P for some reason. Drop. I'll do it in a minute. Let me get out of here. Do we have any identify things? I think we must by now, right? We have 3. It's not much, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna drop. Again, is it P? Let's just look and see what we're carrying here. Drop P. Why wasn't I able to do that before? Drop them all? Yes. That's why. Ah, fuck. Drop Q. And let's read in a scroll of identify. In case this is a Holy Avenger, eventually we have to find one of those. So we're going to have to use our... I guess we don't have to. We can use what we've got. Okay, it's nothing. I'll take the Wand of Wall Building for now. I don't remember what the fuck I was talking about. I apologize. I think one of the things I was doing was apologizing, actually, for constantly talking about my injured hands. That's got to grow boring and annoying, and probably reads as whining, and I apologize. I also don't want to paint a picture of me as being some infirm individual. I'm not. I'm a very, very healthy individual who works out all the time and runs, and as I think I've said, I was a former soldier. I'm in great shape overall, but this one... Oh, I got another... This is only the second or third time I ever found a book. And we got a 4th beginner's handbook. Let's see if this is the right kind of potion. Nope. What was I saying? Oh, for Christ's sake. And even the hand injury is you know, relatively recent to my life, being like 2 years ago. From doing too much visual effects work all at once, I guess. I gotta remember to use good posture too. I'm not doing that, which is another... I think I mentioned that in trying to track down this, we've done 3 different tests so far to try and track down the problem with the hands. We did a bunch of... not a bunch of... Oh fuck, here comes a big D. We did... I'm going to finish this thought before I approach that D, because it's going to derail me. We did x-rays, which did reveal some degeneration in the neck and some narrowing of some neural pathways in the neck, probably from bad posture. So I definitely have to start holding myself in better posture. I got to be constantly vigilant against that. We did this ultrasound the other day, but I don't have the results from that yet to see if there's anything being cut off. And now we're going for an MRI. Blood flow being cut off is causing this. And then we're going for an MRI in the next month or 2. See if we can track down an answer. So I apologize that I constantly bring it up, but when it so deeply affects the core element of what you're trying to do here, it's not like... I remember I watched 30 minutes of UMoria, and the gentleman on that talked about how he did 6 episodes a day, or 12 episodes a day, 6 hours. He said, you can do more than that. And I'm thinking, I can't. I can do, if on a good day, maybe 3 before... Ancient Red Dragon. I'm going to back away from it. I think I'm going to take it on. I don't want to die, but if I do die, fuck it. There's other things to play, right? What we're going to do is cast P, B, H, switch over to our longsword here, step up here. I'm going to PCB that bitch, and then I'm going to attack it. I hit it. It misses, it claws, it bites. I'm going to keep an eye on my health. I'll probably have to teleport away at some point. But I should be relatively safe from its flame. Let's bring it out into the big room here as well. Shit. Just so it, so when it drops its, let's say I did that wrong. I guess it cast resist flame again. I meant to cast PCB. When it drops its stuff, it has more room to drop stuff. We don't want it dropping stuff in the stuff. Apparently, that's how this works. If you fight something in a hallway and drop stuff that would land in the hallway, it just doesn't drop the stuff. You know, you just don't get it. I'm gonna let it hit me one more time, and then I'm gone. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. PBB. I'm gonna rest right here. I'm going to rest right here again. Then I'm going to PCE, PAA, here it comes, PBH, and I'm going to PCB it until it closes the distance with me. Back off from it as well. And lure it out. Oh, fuck. Alright, one more, and then if it, fuck off. Alright. PBH. So I should take, because of my resist fire on my armor and the resist fire from the resist heat and cold spell, if it breathes on me I should take only 1/9 the normal damage. I still have to watch out for his bites and claws, obviously. The reason I'm fighting with the longsword is my longsword does double damage against evil creatures, whereas my other weapon just does normal damage against evil creatures. I'm not sure which one would add up to more damage, to be honest. I'd have to do the math. This can do 1 to 10 plus 4, I believe, so 5 to 14 doubled. So it does 10 to 28. The other one does 3 to 12 plus 11, so it does 4 to 23. So this one should be able to do more damage. Of course, the other one would hit more often, so I don't know. Kind of a... Yeah, we'll switch back. The other one would hit a lot more often. Well, I gotta get out of here again. Alright. PBB. Rest. Rest again. Oh, fuck off. Rest again. PCE. That was over to the, I think to the northwest, is that right? Yeah, I apologize for, as I said, constantly talking about the injury, but like even right now I'm like second guessing whether or not I should have played this game right now, because I have wrist guards on and it's still causing me enough pain that I'm fuck off. I don't want to fight it here, because if it drops anything here I'm not going to get the full amount for it. Fuck off, I don't have time for this. I shouldn't say I don't have time for this. That's the primary skill I think associated with this particular roguelike is just patience. Can you go slow enough to survive the things that are thrown at you? Can you teleport away when it's time? Can you keep an eye on everything? Can you move slowly? If you can do that, you can probably win this game. Yeah, my fucking hand is bugging me tonight. Yeah, I've got braces on the arms and everything right now. It's still really bothering me. We've got 12 minutes left. It is my intention to finish this playthrough. Not the whole thing, obviously, but this 12 minutes. But then I think it's reasonably assured I'm done for the day. Ah, come on, where's that P? For that matter, where's that D? See, like fighting this guy here, if I fight him here instead, there's a better chance he'll drop items I can pick up. It's not to say there's a good chance, but it's better. Alright, so we want to go west. Trying to get back to that D. I don't think they regenerate monsters. I still haven't got a definitive answer. I know the Balrog regenerates. I don't know if other things do. Come on, don't lose your concentration, because it makes me type buttons again, and that hurts my hands. You physically cause me pain when you fail a 5% fucking check. Shit. Smoke coming from my pack. That's not good. Let's try and get it to chase us. Fuck off. Into this open room. PBH. I don't know what the hell came out of my pack, by the way. I don't have time to look right now. Oh, it's dead. Okay, so it dropped a lot of stuff. Before we do anything, let's check and see. It was something we only had one of. I'm glad it's not Wilson. It was a staff of teleportation. We're down to 2 of them. There you go. Well, that's why we carry multiples. Alright, moment of truth. That's no good. That is, I guess. Quaff L. Alright, I guess I'll carry the staff for now. There's a staff of teleportation in this room. I'm gonna go grab it actually. Let's drop the staff of door location, which we don't want, and pick up the staff of teleportation. Alright, man. That's an ancient red dragon down. How much is it worth? Yes. That's the toughest dragon we've killed so far. Worth 3,400. That's not bad. From it's level 40. Alright, interesting to note. Interesting details. Yeah, I think the dragons we would run from right now would probably be an ancient green dragon, or an ancient multi-hued dragon, or an ancient blue dragon, because we have no protection against lightning. We will never have protection against poison. And for both those reasons, again, we would run from an ancient multi-hued dragon as well. It's possible that an ancient multi-hued dragon can also do extra, like more damage. I don't know. People talk about them all the time like they're some devastatingly frightening thing. I don't know if it... I've heard and I don't know if it would also therefore hold true for ancient green dragons. But I've heard that they can they can breathe poison that does more damage than the absolute theoretical maximum hit points of a half-troll warrior, which would be the highest hit points you could have in the game. So they can breathe a weapon that will automatically kill any character in the game, no matter how high level or how powerful it is. And there's no resistance against it. That's why you should avoid them. In the absence of further data, I'm going to assume that holds true for ancient green dragons as well. So we will always flee from ancient green dragons, I think. Unless I find out otherwise, that they do less damage, in which case we could take them and then just teleport away the second they hurt us, I don't know. Come on, open the fucking door. Well, we've gotten lucky. We found a potion of charisma. We got some serious experience there. And we found a mushroom of restoration to get our strength back. That's just great. Very happy with that. I should probably, if I find any further mushrooms of restoration, I have found some and left them behind. I'm not going to do that anymore. I did look them up. They do restore all of your stats to maximum level. So they're better than any potion of restore or anything. They restore everything. So if we find any more, we will stockpile them. We're going to have to start carrying fewer wands and stuff, because we're going to need to carry those. And maybe that's about it. Potions of invulnerability, maybe runes of protection if we find any more of those. We found one way back when, but it got destroyed before we ever even had a chance to use it, which is a bit unfortunate. And again, very glad we found the potion of charisma, but of all the potions we can find, that is the one I care about least. I think it only affects... Raising your charisma only affects your pricings in stores, whether for selling or buying. And again, as far as I can tell, we have so much money that there is no situation that will ever come into being that will let us spend the money we currently have, let alone further money that we will yet find playing this game. I'm sure I've mentioned this as well. One of the things that Chet Bolingbroke, or is it Chester Bolingbroke? Can't recall. Talks about in his CRPG Addict blog is that is the economy. It's one of the things he rates things on, the economy. And when you talk about the economy, what you're talking about is Jesus. what you're really talking about is, how useful is the money in the game. We'll hit him once, and we'll get him to chase us into here. Now that I know about the... Oh, Christ, come on. Hit him again. Come on, Blue Dragon. Come on. Come face me. I don't remember what I was talking about, damn it. Oh, one of the things you talked about, yeah, is the economy, and that's how useful is money throughout the game. Is there something to spend it on is really one of the principal things. And most RPGs, especially fantasy RPGs, finding gold is a common pastime. And yet, it's surprising how many RPGs there's nothing to spend the gold on. I can remember the first time I ever sat down and played basic Dungeons and Dragons, and they had the, sort of the pricing list for starting characters for buying a battle axe or buying plate mail, etc. And the prices were not, terribly expensive. And I remember, reading contemporaneous dungeon modules and being like, oh my god, you're finding thousands of gold pieces. And to the best of my knowledge, I didn't understand the game well enough to know that there might be something else to spend your money on, but at the time I was looking at, or that money was worth experience, which it is in Dungeons & Dragons, the original game. You get experience for every gold piece you find, really, is the way it's supposed to be played. What was I saying? But I was like, even then, as a 9-year-old child, I could see that the economy in the game seemed broken, because you'd find thousands of gold pieces, and the most expensive thing might have been plate mail armor that cost like 300, and you buy that once and you're done. I was like, what the hell do people need to spend this on? So when I made my very first module, which was called the Mazes of Tyrannius, I have a penchant for naming things the something of, and then a crazy name apparently. The Caverns of Zescasian, the Mazes of Tyrannius. Always with 4 syllables in the name too, apparently. But yeah, when I made that game, I made it filled it with tons of, or made that not game, that module. I filled it with tons of vicious monsters, and then made the treasure was so stingy. You'd find like 3 copper pieces or something after defeating a yellow dragon or whatever the hell it was. I don't know if there are yellow dragons, yellow mold or whatever. But that was because I was, even as a child, I could recognize, well, where's the fun in the game if we're trying to get enough money to buy better equipment, and we can buy better equipment after our very first adventure, then what the hell's the point of this? But of course there are other things to spend your money on. Anyways, this game started off really strong in that department. For the first, 40% of the time we were playing this game, if not more. I think it was clear that we were always hard up for money, but that hasn't been the case in a very long time. I have more than 100,000 gold here and nothing to spend it on. Or very little to spend it on. I've mentioned several times that, 30 Minutes of UMoria dude got done his playthrough in 137 episodes. We're coming very close to that, and we're nowhere near done the game. And I still maintain that the largest part of that discrepancy is that he has the ability to run, and I do not. This is not, the game literally is broken in that regard. But I did notice when I was watching some of his videos earlier today, just for fun, as I was getting ready to go to the doctor's, I threw on one of his videos, and I noticed he wasn't even bothering to pick up, not just he wasn't bothering to pick money out of the wall, there would be like stashes of money laying in a room, and you just wouldn't bother picking them up. And it's like, you know, technically it speeds this game up. It gets him to a victory faster than you otherwise would if you bothered picking this stuff up, because it just serves no purpose after a time. So yes, it has to be said, the economy remains somewhat broken in this game, at least in the late stage game. They really have to sell. Here's the tip for anybody who's making the mod of this game: you have to sell all the best items have to be for sale in the stores eventually, including the potions of raising your stats and including the Holy Avenger crap. Alright, I'm going to cast the basic detections and we are done here. Everything's in place. I'm done for the day, probably. My hands are really bugging me. But you all have a great day. I'm going to go find something else to do. I don't know what that something is. I already went for a nice 5-mile walk. I walked home from the doctor's, so I'm not going out anymore today. Have a good one, all ears. Bye.